Captain Sinclair. I hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. In the heated digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very speed hill through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go to beyond the outer limits of society, broadcasting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show. It's from WPRPN, you know. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Dock our vessels in the Starport Harbor. No land mothers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL after a tricky deal haul. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go.
Welcome everybody, friends, folks, foes, fellow pirate mateys, to our latest weekly edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show segment number 327. I'm your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. WPRPN.com is the website we will direct your attention to. Sign up is free. All you simply need is a username, password, and email. Be sure as well to check out the show description end of things. If you'd like to support our efforts here, keep in mind we have a Patreon. We have great quality online merchandise, including t-shirts, coffee mugs, and the like. A growing inventory from the looks of things. We have archived areas via Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, and elsewhere. Occasionally YouTube and Facebook, where they're not deleting our content or censoring us, such as what they did this week, unfortunately. And we'll let people decide for themselves why that was the case. But on a brighter note, we are live streaming, it looks like, via Rumble for the first time ever. So we're happy to announce that. If anyone happens to see anything to the contrary, do let us know. But from all accounts and indications, what we're seeing via this end is that all systems are a go. Our PayPal, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. That's our email address. It's also the email address that you'll want to take note of. Keep in mind, if you have any show suggestions or feature guests you'd like to send our way. So by all means, feel free. We're all ears here down in Skullport Harbor. Liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit the subscription and notification buttons. Always very beneficial, of course. Hitting, along with sending word along to friends, family, and coworkers. So, Epstein was Mossad. Not if you ask ChatGPT. Interestingly, they have ChatGPT for whatever reason just has no idea. How could it possibly be just a mere, just an outrageous conspiracy theory? Similar to the whole chemtrail business, of course, that we're hoping to address and look into a little more closely this go round, along with a whole host of other issues. Let's not forget. So, just working on bringing up, if we can possibly manage here, what we shared with the rest of the group via Teams, actually. And when we say rest of the group, we've got Yvonne Malenfant via Coquitlam, British Columbia. Another fellow Canadian, Christian Laterre, out of Alberta. We've got Roger Hansen, who calls West Frankfort, Illinois home. Phoenix, Arizona, Sawney Galactic's home base. Alan Fredrickson, Tankman, Alan Fredrickson, out of Fort Collins, Colorado. Robert Morningstar, not sure how weather conditions are where he is via Manhattan, but I was just actually looking at some YouTube footage before going live here, and it appeared as if there was some, semi-serious flooding taking place. Not to the extent we recently witnessed via Texas, but it would be interesting nonetheless to, do a little bit of investigative work and see if there had been any man-made climate change or otherwise geo-engineering endeavors, efforts being made in the New York region before this this recent wave of flooding got off the ground. So, and who else do we have? Actually, well, myself, let's not forget, Daffy Ryder out of the southern part of the Korean peninsula. We'll be putting ourselves on camera here momentarily. People can enjoy a little more of the visual eye candy. I'm not sure if Sonia's going to come on camera or not. It's something that I never did, actually. Regular listeners, people that have been checking out our content over the past, number of years will know that it was only really as a result of Robert Morningstar's insistence that I come on camera that finally decided to do so. But yeah, we'll be shifting and shaking things up here momentarily. In the meantime, what you've got is the slideshow, and why don't we do that right now? In fact, well, we've got that in focus. So, all right, folks, welcome. Here we are. Show segment number 327 of World Pirate Radio News. Has everyone had a chance to check out the talking points to that we essentially put together in support of this week's show? all available via the Teams sidebar chat area. Nobody?
Nope.
Dear God. Oh, Sonia, you think you'd know better by now. So, how are you doing? Anything?
Oh, very, very busy. I just got a break today.
Huh?
Just earlier today, yeah, after Christian was on that show, James Rink's show. Yeah, we were cramming right up to the moment, like the last minutes. It was crazy. Yeah, James Rink, Super Soldier. He does the Super Soldier podcast. Yeah.
Uh-huh. How about that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You haven't been, so as far as Phoenix goes, that area is yet to be targeted with any flash floods.
So far we're good.
Knock wood. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that one of the main players, young fellow whose name escapes me, he was on the Ryan or Sean Ryan, I guess is the guy's name of his show. I'm not sure who I hear fiddling around. Is that Tankman Allen? Could be, possibly, maybe rolling cigarettes, or who knows exactly.
It was me.
Oh, you're the one.
Sorry about that, bro.
But it was interesting because this is just I'm not sure the audacity exactly, or the chutzpah of these people. But he was on the Sean Ryan show just a week or two prior to actively geoengineering in the region of Texas where that flash flooding took place, within a very, it was almost like ground zero, basically, was where he was busy working on doing what he could to make it rain for whatever reason. So, but this has been going on for over 100 years. With they talk about man-made climate change and making it rain. Maybe that's the inside joke with all the money when they the strip bars and that sort of thing. Make it rain. It's because they're all these criminal organizations are tied into the geoengineering of the planet. It's interesting. I was just watching your favorite show last night, as a matter of fact, Sonia.
Which one? Baja?
No, MASH.
Oh, that is my favorite show. That's right. Oh.
So, and I'm just and here's the thing. I was thinking about one of the reasons you might not like it so much, because of the laugh track they added. With one version of what they put out, there was a laugh track. It's better without the laugh track, actually. Really a lot better. Less artificial, but at the same time, it does piss me off to no ends. They did, I don't think, hardly used a single real Korean person, actor, the entire series. Right. I think it should be redone. They should reboot the series using real.
Oh no.
Why not? Why not? But using real Korean actors. So that's one of my main beefs, and the fact of just the kind of underlying communist. Because
it's just very depressing. It's a very depressing show,
it's supposed to be.
To me,
comedy.
it was.
Well,
it's supposed to be, in a depressing setting.
Right, like a dark kind of comedy, I guess. So, but I tell you, Radar was the one who he really, I thought, in many instances, is the one who steals the show with his acting abilities. Hawkeye, I found, actually many times quite annoying with his the overly cutesy attempt, kind of like the way I am sometimes, I suppose, trying to be funny. It's a little.
Yeah, he was kind of annoying, huh?
Yeah. So, but anyways, let's see now. What I was getting at though was that there was a quote, and we talk about synchronicity here from time to time, obviously, and it's interesting because just last night I was watching this. It was called, I think it was called 5 O'Clock Charlie. It was just really silly the way they depicted it. this sputtering old plane comes in as if it can barely fly. They're trying to portray and depict it as being a North Korean bomber. Like it's absurd and ridiculous. First of all, the whole thing, it's like, willing suspension of disbelief with so much fiction, of course. But they're said to be 3 miles from the front lines, and you hear time and again that they're south of Seoul. Seoul is north of where they are, and yet they're 3 miles from the front lines. To me, it's like that's a bit of a head scratcher. But, anyways, here comes 5 o'clock Charlie, and he's trying to. Actually, I guess his intent is to hit this ammunitions dump that they store at the near the hospital, right? That's, I guess, an age-old tactic or strategy, supposedly. So, kind of like what Hamas was accused of recently with the genocide in Gaza. And at this stage, of course, I think Israel's pretty much, they've completely eliminated, liquidated all of Gaza's hospitals are just, they've been wiped from the map. So, but Hermann Goering, so goes the quote, Hermann Goering, he who controls the skies wins the war. And to which it immediately made me think of LBJ's quip, if anyone's ever seen that clip of him, and he was the last American president to ever openly admit to this, to cop to it. There was this, from 1964 to where we are now, there's no American president. I don't even know how transparent Trump has been. In fact, it's a limited hangout is all they're doing right now, is what some critics are saying. So much of what Trump has been, look at the Epstein nonsense. I mean, just white, if not just a outright whitewash, a total limited hangout. But he who controls the skies wins the wars. And then Hermann Goering from Hitler's Third Reich, LBJ, this university speech, saying that in the future, that those who control the weather will control the world. And look at where we are. Look at where we are now with these satellites, these low orbit satellites meshing themselves together. Is that Skynet or something to that effect? What's the deal? Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, since you mentioned two names very dear to my heart, Lyndon Johnson and Hermann Goering, I thought I'd share this with you. One is I touched Hermann Goering's ring. The ring that he had on his finger when he's pointing at the map to Hitler. If you ever look at it closely, there's a film of him and Hitler planning the war, and they've got a big map in front of him. He puts his big fat hand down on the map, and you see this brilliant oval-shaped golden ring on his hands. And in 1994, I debated Dr. John Latimer, who was a so-called expert on riflery and testified before the House Select Committee on assassinations, that he fired bullets through gelatin and pig carcasses and watermelons, and it was possible for a bullet to be pristine. But this guy, Dr. John Latimer, through gelatin and pig. I'm hearing my own echo somehow for some reason.
There you go. You're fine. It was just temporary. Okay. Go ahead.
So listen to this. I was honored to speak before the Brooklyn Harbor Defense Museum in Brooklyn, New York, on the JFK assassination in 1994. So when I finished, the sponsor, they awarded me a medal for my patriotism, my contributions to history, and he said, it'd be great if you could come next week, because we're going to have Dr. John Latimer here talking about the Lincoln assassination. And of course, I knew Latimer was famous then for having, fired Mannlicher Carcanos through pig carcasses and gelatin, and saying that it was possible for a magic bullet to pass through, Kennedy and Connolly and still be pristine. So I said, I've got to be there. So I went. And when he finished, I went up to him with my evidence of the tippet body swap, the tippet brain swap, and I opened this book in front of him. And when I opened the book in front of him, this guy was like 6'3", like Lyndon Johnson, real tall guy, old geezer from World War II. And lightning went through his body. His knees buckled. He went like that. And then he turned to me and he said, I must say you have compiled the most compelling set of evidence that I've ever seen. But I must be going now. And I said, wow, he wants to run away. He said, I must be going now. The Nuremberg trials are coming up. And I said to myself, what the hell is he talking about? Nuremberg trials were in 1946. This was 1994. So I followed him. I just grabbed him, basically. Dr. Latimer, I really need to talk to you. Listen, you teach at, you practice at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. That's on the west side. That's near my. I'll be happy to make an appointment with you and come up to see you. And he says, oh, no, I'm very busy right now. The Nuremberg trials are coming up.
You said it twice?
Yeah, he said it twice. And then I looked at him like, are you crazy? I gave him that look. And he said, oh, the anniversary. The anniversary is coming up in 2 years, and I have to prepare for it. And then I wasn't going to let him go. And then he says to me, would you like to see Goering's ring? And then this guy was fast. He put his fist right in my nose. And I was looking at Goering's ring that I recognized from photographs and movies. And I couldn't believe this old geezer was wearing Goering's ring. It was an oval ring, about 1.5 inches high and probably 3/4 of an inch wide. And deeply engraved into it was not a swastika, but the Junkers double-headed Prussian eagle.
Huh.
And wow. And I was mesmerized, And I said to him, may I touch it? I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, may I touch it? He said, yes, you may. So I took my finger and I touched Goering's ring. And I looked at him and he said to me, I was his doctor at Nuremberg. He committed suicide 20 minutes before we were supposed to hang him. And I said to myself, oh, shit. Now I know how he got the cyanide pill. Because nobody knows how Goering was able to get into his bag and get this cyanide pill that he took before they hung him. And there's a photograph of Goering, dead Goering. It's quite a thing to see. He's lying down with one eye closed and one eye open, glaring, staring at the ceiling, and this Cheshire cat smile on his face, because that's what cyanide does to you. It pulls your mouth and facial muscles into this weird grin. And I said to myself, you son of a bitch, you traded his bag for this. You got him his bag and he gave you this ring. And they've always blamed a Lieutenant Wheeler, who was an MP, who was guarding Goering and became a good friend of his. And when Goering was going to be executed, Goering took off his watch and he gave it to Lieutenant Wheeler. So all the suspicion has fallen on Wheeler as the guy who got the cyanide to Goering. But it wasn't. It was Dr. John Latimer. Now, who was John Latimer? He wasn't the rifle expert. He was Lyndon Johnson's urologist. So I like to quip that Dr. Latimer is the only guy that ever had a meeting with Johnson & Johnson. And that should be his epitaph. It's incredible. Johnson. And I wrote an article about it. It's part of the ultimate secret of the JFK assassination. So the paperclip Nazis had paperclip Nazi Americans with them. Latimer became a friend of Hermann Goering, took the ring in return for letting him check his bag before execution. Goering opened the bag where he had secreted a cyanide capsule, and he bit it, and he died without the hanging. He went the same way that Goebbels went, who killed himself and his wife and their, I think, 7 children. They all committed mass suicide because they could not live in a world without the Führer. But since you mentioned Lyndon Johnson and Hermann Goering, I said, well, he's asking for it. So now you got it, and I'm going to mute, and I'm going to go and do the housework that I have to finish before I come back. Because I got to tell you about the United Kingdom's stratospheric
aerosol injection.
It's called Satan, and I'll tell you what it means when I come back. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Robert.
Literally, it's called Satan.
All right. Wow. Let's hopefully keep a few people hanging on. So, looking forward to that. Alan. And who else do we have up there? Is that, I guess, Roger at the top of the screen, and then Christian, of course. Why don't each of you just introduce yourselves? You've been, all of you, waiting patiently. So introduce yourselves, then we'll circle back and give you a chance to comment on anything that you've heard to this point, okay? But just keep the introduction short, and we'll circle back and let you have the talking stick at least, one more time. Alan, do you want to take a shot at it? Can't hear you, man. We haven't heard a single word from you today. You've got your mic muted, actually. I muted you out, and maybe that was by mistake, because it was, everyone should be muted out when they're not talking. But I thought it was you bleeding through, and it was actually, I guess, Sonia was what you were saying. Go ahead, Alan, or we'll jump ahead up to, try it. Go ahead. Nope, not hearing anything from you. So up to Roger. Go ahead. One more time. Why is he coming through as if...
Tell him to turn up his volume.
Your volume is way down, yeah. It's way down. This is the sort of thing that usually is taken care of during the intro audio tech check. But anyways, Roger, go ahead with your, what is that? Star Wars?
Yeah, it's a cool image I've seen on the sharing thing.
You think it's cool, huh?
Yeah, because I'm gonna make that with Blender here in a little while. 3D image.
Some people might say it's pretty lame.
But some people suck.
So do you think that's the way that actual... Alan, no, it's like, this is the worst. Your mic is just, no, it's terrible. It's scale of 1 to 10. It's like, no, not happening. So I was actually just listening to some Bob Lazar, the Art Bell interview. I'd like to go back and revisit that conversation, and which makes me actually think that I should keep an eye out for the Joe Rogan talk that I archived with Lazar, because he appeared just in the last year or so, didn't he, on Rogan's?
Yeah.
Right.
He actually he did a really, really good interview with that one guy that's been doing the disclosure hearings here within the last year. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Grush?
Yeah, Grush.
Or George Knapp?
No, Knapp.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Partner.
Yes, yeah, finally, there we got you going, Alan. Good stuff. Just hang on. Wait.
Victim of cat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I tell you, we've been
and switched all my channels off.
Oh, well, we've been grooming the heck out of ours here, man. It's just, you would not believe the fur buildup. But let Roger finish here. Introduce yourself, Roger.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure it worked.
That's right. No worries. You've got...
I'm Roger Hansen. Yeah. Nice to meet you guys, man. Have a good day.
Oh, man, come on. So tell us a little bit about, no wonder you don't hardly anyone tunes in to watch your shows. You got to tell people more about what the hell it is you've got going on. Like, you're so active and busy and capable too.
I've got stuff on Live with Roger Hansen, The Wonderful World of Weirdness. Right now I'm doing that, and then I'm doing the Praetorian. We're doing some stuff in political history.
Praetorian? Wait a minute. Where do we find... I've heard that name. Help me out here.
That's my channel.
Oh, well, I think
on
others...
Rumble and YouTube.
Oh well, okay. Others use that moniker.
Well, I actually started using it back when the Praetorian was named the Praetorian, and then they changed their name to Praetorian First Amendment shit. It's when they all started jumping on the Donald Trump bandwagon.
Who's the Praetorian originally? That's like Roman soldier or something, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a Roman soldier, but it's also a militia group here in the United States.
Oh, don't you think that's going to? They say it's like the people sometimes are asked, about having government files. Well, that'll definitely lead you to have a government file put together on you, and the response to that is, if you don't have a government file on you, to this point yet, you're clearly not doing something right.
Well, I named the channel back when they were actually legit. Now that they've turned all freaking,
Oh, that'll do it too, though. It's like, just any excuse to kind of suck up all the metadata, to put them in that category over there, and red flag or whatever.
These days, they go after the new group they set up, the Praetorian freaking, I think it's the First or Second Amendment is what they added on the end of it, and like they don't even care about the name Praetorian anymore. So.
Oh. Okay.
So it's cool.
All right. And have you heard from Tran or Tan? I guess it's probably better to refer to him. He said, I think he said either is fine. Out of Toronto, or Mark Edworthy. Been in touch with either of those two rabble rousers?
I've been doing a lot of shows with Mark and Mr. Robot on Live with Roger Hansen here lately. Tan. He's gotten all goody now. He's gotten religious again.
Oh, good for him. I mean, what is that? What he's not, which leads him not to want to communicate with you anymore, or what exactly?
Well, we communicate when he feels up to it, but he gets all religious and decides that the internet's bad and shit. You know what I mean?
All uppity, huh? All uppity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what. Look, I keep my online time to a bare minimum here, and for a whole number of different reasons. And one is because it is a contributor. I will argue, I'm on the side of the argument that it contributes to mental dis-ease, not in the sense of illness. Pardon me?
Mental illness.
Yeah, not feeling at ease. I didn't say illness. I said dis-ease. I mean, I guess that I'm not sure what dis-ease, not at ease, unwell, for a whole host of different reasons, and without having to get into it. But I'll tell you what, I find I have a whole time online is time online. I allot that amount each and every week. I set that aside, dedicate it. I offer it up to the world as part of my dana, as it were, just giving freely, other than when there's donations that, periodically come our way. And we could really stand to benefit from more of those, whether PayPal or, merchandise purchases or otherwise. But half of everything does go directly back to charity. And I think it's too bad that more outfits didn't promote that, actually. I just don't understand why folks don't. It's really quite peculiar. But anyways, he's got a point there, Tan. I probably he does. It's Tan. He says both.
Around. I'm just joking around.
No, but maybe he's a family man. He's got kids, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like he's got family and
he's got a job. His wife wants his attention. That's the way it works, right? So, and church.
I don't know about all that now.
Well, he's married, isn't he?
He loves his wife, but man, he don't like hanging out with her too much.
Well,
he's got to do that at work.
He works with his wife.
Yeah, I think they've got a restaurant together.
Oh,
If
I
I'm
thought he
not
was more.
mistaken.
I thought he was a computer guy
Well, he
exclusively.
is. He's a man of many. He's amazing. He's got a lot of stuff going on for him.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so I like him a lot, definitely for sure. Mr. Robot as well. You could tell either of these guys. Tell Tan. The whole Tran thing. Just, I mean, he said
but
either is fine, but it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. If you catch my draft.
Mr. Robot, he won't come on to Teams. He wouldn't come on to Skype. He thinks the CIA is gonna hunt him down and.
Well, maybe, who knows? So, but he's game as far as Sonia. If you want to take notice, we have just a growing number of people who we can easily slot in, and have brought on board as featured guests throughout the fall, really the late summer and the fall. So Mr. Robot is another that and really it's first come, first serve sort of deal. So people, if you're interested, reach out to us, connect with us, pirate1radio@protonmail.com, or Sonia, what's your email? Via, galacticfire.com, presumably. What's going on?
Yeah, you can either go to the contact page there or just Sonia@galacticfire.com.
There you go. So, yeah, and she's been helping out as co-producer and merchandise director and all. I mean, how's the website coming along? It's your birthday today, isn't it? Didn't we say we're going to get it done by your birthday?
No, it's not my birthday.
Oh, is it Roger's? Is it Roger's birthday? Roger's birthday?
Maybe yeah, it's my birthday. She said she was going to have it done by my birthday.
Well, congratulations. So what does it make you about?
Say that.
Dirty 30 or? Life begins at 40, they say.
I'm dirty pretty. It don't matter what my age is. I'm always dirty. Right. I'm a dirty, dirty man. That's right.
No.
Get her done. When Robert was talking about touching that dude's finger, dude, I was getting ready to bust out laughing. I'm sorry, but dude, every time I hear somebody say they touch somebody's finger, it just I think somebody's gonna fart. You know what I mean?
Well, that's pulling somebody's finger.
Well, it's still the same thing. Like they're touching the finger.
Yeah.
Can't pull it without touching it.
And pulling or pulling in down in Skullport Harbor here. It's all about pulling somebody's wooden leg. So, which anyone feel free. You can have at it, as far as I'm concerned. Just keep your hands off my middle one. That's all I care about. Just left and right is all right, but outside of that, forget it. So, all right, Geo-Engineering and Christian, bloody hell, he's been sitting there quiet as ever. How did that show go the other day then, Christian? The show that Sonia here mentioned. Tell us a little bit more about that. If you haven't wandered out. There you go. Mm-hmm.
That one actually pretty good. And it was today, like this afternoon. And a lot of viewing. And I think that was a good move to do that show. So the book is out. They're pre-launched. So on the website. So yeah.
A free PDF download right now or what exactly?
No, it's not free PDF, but it's like a pre-release. Like people can buy
chapters.
Like a PDF, and it's a nice book. Like honestly, there's a lot of work into it, and a lot of information, and that's something rare, I think.
We cleaned it up as well. Like it had to go through more editing than what we saw it as initially, definitely, so that's great. All right, now it's up to me, I guess, to finish up to get rolling with the audiobook version. What kind of deadline would you like to You're saying like the fall, is that right? Sometime like November?
Yeah, I want this to be coming out the 26th of November, same date as like the premiere of Stranger Things.
All right.
Like, let's use their like promotion and like they use my story, so let's use their promotion.
All right.
So
I want to finish up with the acknowledgments here, and the first 32 pages that I had initially, I guess. Just I'll give you more of a content than what I initially bounced off you, which you seem pretty happy with. So I'll just keep working with that, and you know, I have fun with, you know, in doing things in projects such as this. So
yeah, and you sound good, man. Like I love the way it sounds like. So like people are gonna love it. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, I want to do the best job possible, just out of respect for you and the others who have been victims. I mean, there's been legal suits that have been pursued, and to what how successful they've been in working. It's to sue the government and to think that you're going to win. It's good luck with that. Look what these bastards are doing with the skies right now. Look what they've done with the water, with the fluoride. Look what they do with the food that we have in our supermarkets, and people wandering the cancer.
What with the kids. So like that's the first thing we have to deal with, like kids. Like, cause like you know, saving kids from going through all of this is priceless. It's a must. Like, there's no kid that deserves to go through all this. And I think this book is gonna change a bit the direction of that. Yeah.
All right, well, that's what you feel intuitively. That's a good way of seeing things. The Montauk Boys, Terror at Montauk, The Last Moments of Camp Hero, MK Ultra's Wildest Experiment Known, Uncensored, The True Story Behind Stranger Things. You've got it right there as part of your green screen, I guess. So, who put that together for you?
Sonia.
Yeah, well,
we did this together. She did that screen though, but like, we were working together, and we've been working. We spent a lot of time lately, like just like adjusting. But like, we did something nice. Like, it's beautiful. I love the book. Like, honestly, guys, like once you read it and all, it's perfect.
You know,
my eyes, it's perfect for sure. Yeah.
Well, speaking of perfect, you know that she has been seeking out her soulmate now for the longest time. So I'm taken, you know, or I'd be in. I'm sure I'd be in like Flynn. I'm all tied up here, you know. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. But good stuff, and we'll talk more as time goes on here. So. Excellent. And life in Alberta, anything more then to add as far as what you're seeing, or, you know, as far as
pretty quiet
news events?
So I didn't go out or like really like get update from the news, or like I've been so focused on the book lately.
Right.
Yeah, it's done. Like the first version is done, like the English version. So there's 7 more translation to do. And it's going to be published everywhere in the world, like the 26th of November, like the official launching everywhere. So
I need to talk to my wife about the Korean version, I guess. Do you have it? Because you want a Korean version, correct? You would like that, I believe. I think is what
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Excellent. I'll see. She can be a bit of a stick in the mud at times, or what some would say, the proverbial turd in the punch bowl. she does, you know, it's like, what is this? Nobody, these shows you do are just weird, you know. So, and I can see it because there's a certain portion of the population who they're blue pilled, and that's the way that they're going to be for some time, and until something comes along to really wake them up, I guess. and negate all the programming that they've been exposed to for so many years. Since the time.
It's hard to get out of that when you're always used to something, going through like in their kind of matrix,
yeah,
you don't so hopefully the book, if she reads the book, it's gonna help her to break out of that and see a bit
well, these sort of things are pretty. They scare the hell out of people too. Is not only they say they're not interested. Partly, they might watch a movie version, or she might watch Stranger Things and think, "Oh, that's interesting." It's like, okay, well, Hollywood put it together, so I guess that's okay. But someone like yourself, or just an author, and more just a tendency to be dismissive. And but we'll see. I hope to get the ball rolling on that front, because unless you have any other people via Korea, you can make those connections. Maybe Zane Ivey actually might know someone who'd be qualified. He's one of our regular listeners that we have here. He's out of Seoul, heavily into martial arts and so forth. Former military intelligence.
Sweet. I'll ask him.
Do you know Zane, Sonia?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, online, yeah.
Well, reach out. There you go. You're a pretty outgoing person, and you do the kind of work. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to get thinking here a little more how to make this the synergy kind of unleash itself.
Yeah, baby.
Because anyways, we'll leave it at that for now. Geo-Engineering, we've only got maybe less than 10 minutes, and they're going to cut us off here. Has anyone had a chance to check out the talking points yet to this point? Or not? So I'll bring up what we've got here. 50 years of Jaws. That's more pop culture, of course. Then I initially kicked things off. I grabbed that link that Robert told us about last year, or rather last show, regarding the 1,000-year war between Russia and the Khazars. So I'll share that in the peanut gallery area. Bizarre. Yeah, Sky News Australia. These guys are pathetic. They do a lot of great work in other areas, but when it comes to Israel, you can guess how that one goes. They are so far up the collective Zionist butthole that I don't know. I guess they think that's about as kosher as you could possibly be. As a goy or otherwise, whatever style of a journalist it is you happen to be. But think of the money these people are making too, just to perpetuate and promote and propagate endless lies and distortions. And then they call Tucker Carlson this for daring to suggest that Epstein might have been a Mossad or even CIA asset. Agent is a little different, I guess, but just asset. It's like, come on, that's the Mockingbird media for you. So yeah. All right. And then Trump's EPA chemtrail report, total whitewash. Dane Wigington, that's a name to look out for, folks. Take note of. There's your value-added content for the week. Nothing natural about the Texas floods, says Dane Wigington. I think he's got a point. There's a big issue out of the EU with is it a Pfizer deal? That's right. Yeah. The head of the president of the EU, Ursula von der Leyen's Pfizer deal. Geez, I hope she wasn't raking in $35 billion for her. I didn't look.
That's not possible.
No, via SMS. What the hell is SMS? Is that social media? I guess, and maybe some propaganda campaign. Because totally, the whole thing. Look, folks. I think we all know Club of Rome. the way the scamdemic unfolded, Event 21. Just got to connect the dots of what they were, lockstep, and the way they orchestrated the whole agenda, the program, and the way that the likes of out of Harvard, the disgraced former head of the biochemistry department. Why am I mind
you don't have to
dumping?
be a rocket scientist to kind of figure that out, you know.
Well, you know what they did is that Dr. Charles Lieber, there we go. So and his father too. Look into the history of these people. My God, what they have been up to, the eugenicists. These people are hell-bent on aggressively pursuing population, not just control, but reduction, which very much really helps to complement and support the whole AI, robotics, faux singularity agenda. The likes Peter Thiel, whose name I was going to bring up earlier, within the context of the Texas flooding, because that's who this Rainmaker character was working for, the same fellow we referenced earlier. It appeared as a guest on the Sean Ryan show just a few short weeks prior to all hell breaking loose in Texas. And by the way, the initial Rainmaker was Charles Hatfield. Take note of that, people. 1916 out of San Diego. They ran him out of town. I think he'd already got his money, because the thing is, he was brought on board to make it rain. This is why I say it's been for over 100 years. People think, gee, is it possible to control the weather or make it rain? Yeah, it's for at least over 100 years now. 1916, Charles Hatfield out of San Diego. They made a movie with him in his life. I've yet to be able to track the full-length version down, starring Burt Lancaster, but he produced flash floods in the same way as what we saw recently unfold via Texas, and they ran him out of town because of the excess number of deaths that it produced. They wanted to rain, not to produce flash floods. So, and yet ChatGPT tells us there's no connection here, nothing to be seen. There's flooding in Texas had nothing to do with geoengineering, the work that was taking place in the approximate region or vicinity where all the chaos broke loose. So, and check this out. Did you hear about Bill Barr's father? This sci-fi pedo book. This is the guy who gave Epstein his big break. And by the way, is the Barr family are they Catholic or Protestant, or what sort of religion are they? What ethnicity as well too? I'd be curious to know. All part of that one big club or not? But yeah, he gave Epstein his first big break academically. It just so happened that he published a sci-fi novel containing several prominent references to and descriptions of sexual slavery. So, had some problems via social media with our search engine went on the blink after we started, to try and get more information regarding this whole matter. So, but anyways, there's a whole number of other related issues. Ehud Barak, former PM of Israel, he was a very popular guest with Epstein, but that's just a coincidence. So I think this could be Trump's. This could prove to be very detrimental indeed to his presidency. So from the sounds of it, there's going to be a special prosecutor or special. Roger, have you looked into this? Maybe Robert has. We'll pick up on this after the break, but So because people are not satisfied with the way it's been handled, they say, "Oh, it's been fumbled." I mean, come on.
I'm kind of like that too, and for me, I've had issues with Trump for a little while now, and with this Epstein thing, it pretty much pissed me off, and it confirms to me that he's just a freaking part of the Epstein freaking list, and that's the reason why all this is happening. Because if it comes out, everybody's going to know Donald Trump is a pedo that freaking sex traffics little girls.
But do you know that there's a lot of Democrats that are implicated as well?
Yep.
That's so that's why it'll never be. He won't be impeached. I can't see it happening. And there we go. We're basically the teams, as it is, their policy. They like to limit conversations to 60 minutes, as it were. And I guess that's the hour that we managed to log this go round. Show segment number 327 of World Pirate Radio News. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas. With any order of $25 or more, you will immediately receive a 10% discount. All you simply have to do is let Ryan or his significant other know one of two things. Include this in your email when you reach out to them. Pirate Radio or Pirate Code. It's as simple as that, folks. You'll be able to unlock an immediate 10% discount. Well, as far as the CanaSense Cannabis Collective is concerned, 5813 5813 is our referral link. Take note of that. And, take the time to check out their inventory, the really great quality, items, products they have on boards. Decide whether or not they suit your interests and needs and take it from there. So we'll be back in just a flash here, folks. Do not touch that radio dial or computer mouse.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at CanaSense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's CanaSense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. CanaSense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. CanaSense.com. CanaSense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herb's mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free, headache relief, or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. We are back with the final portion to this week's live streaming World Pirate Radio News show segment, number 327. 130 colleges engineering the world. How about that? According to Nicole Shanahan, RFK Jr.'s former vice presidential running mate, it's unfortunate that Facebook completely shut us down this week. We posted this last night, woke up this morning to see that they'd taken our show information down. Completely, disappearing, canceling our attempt to discuss these issues and, have our voices heard. And if there, of course, is anyone who has a opinion to the contrary, we're all ears. But as it is, there is no live stream going out to Facebook. Rumble, on the other hand, it looks like all systems are go, so that's great to see. Amos Dale 777, welcome to the conversation. Good to have you on board. And in just a few moments here, we're going to double back to Teams, actually relaunch what we hope will end up being around an hour or so of engaging, edgy, top quality live streaming content, the best that you could possibly expect, given the fact that life is what it is. We are here limited with our resources, doing the best we can to make the live streaming magic happen. But how can one not help but at this stage of the game be a little red-pilled? It depends, I suppose. A lot of people remain to this day very apathetic regarding a whole host of issues. Mark, who's tied up with his kids right now, he's the main wheel driving force behind Drigas Productions, saying here in the team's chat that if Epstein wasn't Mossad, he most definitely was an asset. But that's one of the things that was blacked out on JFK stuff also. Any Mossad involvement? Really didn't know that. I was aware that Israel played a more central hand in the Kennedy assassination than most people have any idea of. And that's because the likes of Oliver Stone, even Jim Mars, God rest his soul. It's unfortunate that he didn't do enough to call out Israel regarding the whole business of that terrible day in Dallas. But the truth is, if you do, just all you need. You think it really was just a coincidence? The guy who, for example, shot Oswald was one Jack Rubenstein, alleged gun runner to the Middle East since 1955. That's just the start of it, folks. He was scheduled to, in Dallas that day, so the story goes, give a high-profile. His trip actually had been sponsored by the B'nai B'rith, I believe, of either Texas or just Dallas. per se. That's how the story goes. But they left their fingerprints all over the whole thing, and hardly anybody talking about it or making these connections whatsoever, connecting the dots. So, oh, and how about this? Yes, that's right. Breaking news: Maxwell ready to testify before Congress. If first isn't Epstein, of course. But I wonder if that's in exchange for. Not sure if that would constitute a plea deal or not. Have her sentence reduced. Roger Hansen's sharing this link here over on Teams once again. So thank you for that reminder, Roger. That's very much on some people's radar the last number of days. It's a real hot issue, clearly. I don't think we've heard the last from, all of the particulars. You'll excuse the pun, ins and outs surrounding the whole Epstein debacle, as much as Trump might like it to simply disappear and go away. Not so fast. All right, we're almost ready to bring the rest of the crew here into the conversation. Get a few technical matters squared away, taken care of, and do be sure at the time that we have available to bring to the table everything that you reckon is noteworthy. This is, in fact, our last World Pirate Radio News live stream until we return from Canada. I'm taking a few weeks off, enjoying something of a vacation, little holiday time. We haven't been back to Canada in 18 years. It's what some people are calling the Jaffe's 18 missing years. And not sure who we have there exactly. We hear some mucking about, bumping around. Is that
Sorry
Roger?
About that. I had a flare on until I got it turned off.
Oh, Mark, I see. Were you listening to the show? No, you're busy.
Good to get in finally.
You're busy with the kids. Yeah, you're tied up there, huh? How old are your kids?
My youngest is 13.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's like 11, almost pushing 11:30 here. Well, 20 after, but And then my oldest at home is 22.
Yeah, don't you have 6 kids? Is that right?
Yeah, but they don't all live here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, my oldest is 43.
Oh wow, how about that?
Yeah. Well, I got 2 of them that live in Florida and they're on their own, and I got one that lives here in town that's on her own. And then, she comes and visits, birthdays, holidays, and, with the, times when the hand is out. And then, kids. So,
the hand is out. No, not the hand is hand is up.
By the way.
Whack.
and then my son. I have a son and daughter that live here full time, and then this month I have all my younger kids, which is Katie and Victoria. Katie's going on 16 in December, and Victoria just turned 13.
Okay, so all right. Well, enough for the. Don't want to. Yeah, how many times you've been? The marriages. We've touched on that. I think once here in the past. No sense in revisiting.
3 strikes, I'm out.
Exactly.
I headed to the showers, but if they need me, I can go in the bullpen and go for maybe a couple innings more. But that's about it. You
got to be in your early 60s then. If your youngest kid is.
I'm 58.
If your youngest kid is 43, You said 43?
My
or oldest at 43.
Well, see, I married a widow with kids, and I adopted them.
Oh.
But they're mine. I've had them since they were 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they're my kids.
Good stuff. Good on you, man. Yvonne, you're we want to make sure you have your voice heard. You were in, then you were out, and you're back again. So that's the way it goes sometimes with all of us here.
How you doing?
Whatever reason. Great. Yeah, good to reconnect. What's the latest via Coquitlam, British Columbia, besides the out of control rent prices?
Yeah, well, as you know, we're the third most expensive city in Canada now.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's 31 degrees today, a little warm. I try to remind Michelle that Seoul used to be like 38, 36. 31's not too bad. We're doing okay. We have our homestay student living with us.
All right.
He's from Lima, Peru. And he's a great guy. He's at Simon Fraser.
What's he studying?
He's in computer science, but
okay.
I think he's wanting to switch to psychology now.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I'm picking up on criminology for some reason.
Oh.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah. Well, he likes playing with dogs.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna say dolls, and I was about to spit out my muffin here. So.
And counseling's going okay.
Oh yeah, let's hear that. The first 30 minutes, completely 30 minutes on the house. Free. Yeah, that's right. Anonymous.
And, yep.
Confidential.
Confidential.
Yeah, guaranteed.
And yeah, I've had a couple of new clients. Really good. Mm-hmm. Here, it's so expensive here that a lot of people don't have much, like, what do you call it, kind of cash on hand, like play cash. Like, everyone's tight budget. The, kind of like the soup kitchens and, you know, kind of like the grocery charity lines. What do you call that? Anyways,
soup lines?
Yeah, it's like people go and get groceries for free, whatever. Usually at a church or something.
Well, poverty in Canada,
it's really
the liberals are really doing a number with poverty in Canada, are they not?
Oh yeah.
Is it getting better or worse?
It's getting worse.
What about the illegal immigration? There was a big promise that you were telling us about. I was just thinking about it.
No, they're not going to crack down on that.
It was a total joke. It was a total.
But they have basically they've offered a lot less to, kind of student visas and that. Yeah, as you know, the corruption's like in Brampton and Surrey with some Indian, these college kind of diploma mills, farms, where they charge them a lot of money and then they send them to work at Home Depot. You know, they're not real colleges.
And, the work, what they call those things, the work education visas or something like travel work visas.
Yeah, it was a scam, and so the government they've closed down basically giving out you know, international visas. So a lot of colleges right now they're laying off professors and administrators because just a lot less students coming from.
I could see that back in the mid-90s, how catering to foreign students was getting out of hand. You could see where it was all leading. With, you know, peace, order, and good government are the three founding principles to Canada. As in the States, it's all about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or what some would argue, is the pursuit of, you know, the right to private property, completely contrary to the communist agenda. But do we have good government in Canada? You know, peace, order, and good government. So if we don't, there's a problem. There's the social contract, as it is under is under stress and is in the spotlight and really needs to be reflected upon, reconsidered, and to the point where it's got so bad that I think I've mentioned this to you at least once, maybe twice, over the past little while since it came out during the Freedom Convoy. I think was when it first emerged. There was a secret RCMP memo that became public where certain, well-placed insiders within that institution, National Police Force, as it were, expressed concern of potential uprising or the spreading of further civil strife across Canada, and something to be just very aware of and better, prepared for, obviously. So nothing they say, oh, nobody wants war. Well, that's not true. I don't buy that at all. Some people do, and they're not very nice people, but some people do. And, nobody wants to see these people suffer. We often hear, but that's not true either. And you always say, nobody wants this, nobody wants that, but people clearly do, and they profit from it. So nobody wants chaos. Well, order out of chaos. That's their modus operandi. That's the Hegelian dialectic you're probably aware of course. Order, crisis, problem, reaction, solution, basically.
Theses, antithesis,
synthesis. Yes. Yeah.
So, can I add? I was talking to a client, the other day, and a girl he just started dating overdosed on fentanyl. That was like a week ago, and
died. Okay.
Yeah, and Nanaimo, and it's fentanyl's getting really bad here, and I told you about this book before. It's an amazing book. Willful Blindness by Sam Cooper.
I don't know. I don't. Okay. Okay.
It's an excellent book. He was a journalist in BC and talks about the Communist Party of China.
Oh God.
Fentanyl precursors over here, and they're making fentanyl up in the mountains.
They're poisoning the pot. They're poisoning the pot as well. The bastards are, apparently.
And we talked about this before, Jaffe, in China. If you remember, like about 200 years ago, the British brought opium to Vancouver, Victoria, where it's processed from Burma.
Payback time.
And then they brought it over to Canton and got people addicted to opium in China. The prince or the king of the emperor of China has a good memory, and so does China. And so it's kind of like karma biting in the ass.
That's right.
And they're bringing fentanyl to Vancouver, Victoria, to get us addicted. And in addition, the Americans brought opium from Turkey to Canton as well. And so it's kind of like the Chinese are obsessed with trying to destroy Canada, the USA, etc. And they're making the fentanyl in the mountains of BC with a lot of local cops that are paid off or told to stay away. And then they put them on boats and send them south. And the boats at Delta, Richmond, and all are only checked, like 1% are checked. And very few are caught. So fentanyl goes to the USA, Mexico, Peru, Panama, Australia, Japan, all over. And basically China just wants to destroy the Western Hemisphere. Anyways, that's what Sam Cooper talks about, willful blindness. And, so remember back when the Chinese were bringing duffel bags full of money, and then to Richmond, then they take them to casinos, got it laundered, and they got chips, and then they would give them, instead of hundreds, they give them back 20s, fresh, laundered the money. Then they go off and they would buy an expensive house. And anyway, so that's one reason that housing so expensive.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's a really good book, Willful Blindness, Sam Cooper.
Wow, and so is he Canadian author?
Yeah, he was in Vancouver. Now I think he's in Ottawa. And,
you think
really should try to get him on the show.
Yeah, let's do that. So Sonia, if you're still out there with us, 100%. That's exactly the sort of,
It's really sad.
I'm here.
Yeah, take note of this guy, Sam Cooper. See if we can track him down.
Okay.
Yeah. So Robert, do you have anything to add to that?
Just one last thing. So
sure.
If anyone wants counseling, first 30 minutes are free. Contact me confidentially. If you just want to go 30 minutes, it's fine. There's no pressure to continue. If you do want to go more than 30 minutes, we have a sliding scale. Give you a good deal. You can do it via Skype video or Teams video, whatever. Here's my email address.
So depression is a common. That's coming through Robert again. Let me guess, and we'll mute him out. So, depression is a common problem that many of your clients struggle with, presumably, to the point of.
Yeah. It's funny because of the pollen in the air. They find that that's caused a lot of depression from the antihistamines that are sold, and they've had research done, and many people have become suicidal in the late spring because of the antihistamines.
Well, that's
fascinating.
How
that works. But it's really bizarre.
Yeah. No.
And also anxiety, grieving death, breakup, couples counseling, especially intercultural communication, and just general loneliness, despair.
What about group rates? How about groups that come in?
I only do couples or individuals at this time.
I see.
Adults.
Oh, you will counsel couples though.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, friendly.
How many Buddhists?
Yeah, everybody. Interfaith.
Do you have just a question? This is interesting. Maybe hopefully you can respond to it. But of people that come to you with struggling, psychologically, spiritually, and so forth, are most atheists? They having a crisis in their religious faith and belief? And if so, are they Catholic, Protestant, Muslim, Hindu? How does it break down?
Well, the people that come with walls of doubt, questions, and crisis about whatever faith they're into. I'm not here to convert anybody.
No, but you got all sorts that come. So
I take people where they're at, and there's some that are atheists or agnostic.
Are most fall into that category?
Most people tend to be pagan.
Pagan. So by pagan, you mean what exactly? Just
they don't really think about God or spirituality very much. They tend to be very materialistic and just trying to, get through the week, and party for the weekend. Whatever.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And for me, though I'm a Christian, I don't bring that into the room unless they bring it in. Unless they bring God into the room. I don't.
Yeah.
Pretty much I don't talk about it.
What about meditation or encourage? Two quick questions here. Meditation, and also encouraging them to read this book or that or the next, maybe to help them on their journey to recovery.
Well, as I'm implying, and I think what you hear as well is, if they're a Buddhist, I want them to become a good Buddhist, a better Buddhist.
Right.
So,
happier.
Encourage them, happy Buddhist. So, encouraging them to practice meditation. Sorry, medication. Like Freudian slip there. Sorry.
What did you say? Medication?
Meditation.
Oh.
But I mean, sense of getting them to, or if they're a Catholic, become a better Catholic or whatever,
Focus breathing.
But if they seem bankrupt, you know, I try to encourage them with spirituality, try to, you know, kind of like a higher power or whatever, reach out if they want to, you know, but I'm not there to convert them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But just to love them, you know, like to show grace. I believe in mystery and grace. Those are my two fundamental things: mystery and grace.
And grace being what exactly?
Unmerited favor. That God loves us for who we are. There's nothing we can do to make God love us. God is love and accept us. And there's hope. And tomorrow's a new day. And like Leonard Cohen talks about, to be walking in a state of grace.
Wasn't that? I thought that was Bruce Colburn.
Cohen said that.
Oh, okay. But to love us, but also there's what can we do? We're born who we are. Yeah. What we can't change the fact that we're, you know, where we're born, the parents we have, how we're born. It's
but like, I'm also saying, you know, I mean, there is forgiveness there, you know.
Well,
God accepts and forgives us. We call on God, you know. And you know, I'm just saying, you know, like I don't want to get preached or anything, but I'm just saying that, you know, there's grace, and there's hope, and to kind of see things from a different point of view. I'll give you an example, like, you know, the hydrangea plant. You look at the colors of a hydrangea. This is something I learned last year. I didn't know. The hydrangea color is dependent on the soil. Is it acidic or alkaline?
Oh.
Okay, so if it's alkaline soil, it's going to be kind of a reddish, kind of dark purple color. And then I get these mixed up, sorry, but I think if they're acidic, I think they're
green,
lavender blue. Or
yeah. What if it's neutral?
Middle,
yeah.
But then that neutral pH is, I think, a kind of a darker blue. Maybe?
Well, just like us, right? As the analogy,
so
I guess.
Sometimes acidic, I think, you know, you're in hell. You're in your own personal, private hell.
Too much.
Where life is really hard. And so what we want to do is try to alkalize the soil, but that's going to take time for the color to change. It takes months. And so in therapy, you know, hopefully a good therapist is kind of alkalizing the soil and bringing them out of their own personal hell, going through the pain of change, putting them in a new direction, setting them on a new course of healing and integration. And so their ship is heading a new direction, and they're finding hope and a new life. And so hopefully they're alkaline and, you know, the flowers turn red.
Yeah.
So to me, that's kind of like a imagery that I use.
Real yin and yang, too, I noticed there. Yeah. Yin and yang. So, okay. All right.
Anyways, thanks. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so if anybody, or if you want to talk to me, you know, first half hour is always free, so don't hesitate. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for believing in me. Appreciate it.
I had one more question, but I'll ask it some other time, I suppose.
Yvonne, you mentioned grace and mystery. You explained grace, and I agree with you. What do you mean by mystery, and do you know the original meaning of mystery?
It's a good question.
Mysterium.
Well, to me, mystery is that, you know, like, why does shit happen in the world? You know, like, sense of what's going on. Basically, we don't have answers.
Yeah. Well, the original meaning of mystery, according to the Greek word, is hidden worship of the deity. Secret worship of the deity.
Oh.
From the Greek word, mysterium. But anyway, thanks. I wanted to mention, as I mentioned before, we're talking about the environmental engineering.
Absolutely.
And listen to this. I got a report yesterday that there are these 3 flash floods that are being described as once in 1,000 years.
Oh my God.
Flash floods happening in the United States right now. But China is suffering the worst flash floods in all of its history. it's practically being washed away. I got videos from there. Then today I got this report from the Lioness of Judah. She is a really great writer on Substack and exposing the geoengineering that's going on in the UK. And in the UK, they have a program, geoengineering project, called Satan Releases Sulfur into the Sky.
Oh my God.
You can't, I hate this phrase, you know, everybody's saying it. You can't make this up.
That's the project name. That's incredible.
Yeah, well, now listen to this. In 2022, British researchers launched a geoengineering experiment releasing sulfur into the stratosphere under a project called Satan, Stratospheric Aerosol Transport and Nucleation. Yes, they literally named it Satan. Even leading geoengineering scientist David Keith couldn't believe it. You don't call anything Satan if you're playing it straight. What kind of agenda names their skies tampering experiment after the devil? What this means is they are no longer hiding their intentions. Experiments that disrupt ecosystems, weather patterns, and food supplies are underway without your consent. They are manipulating the very air you breathe and laughing in your face while they do it. This isn't just climate science. This is climate warfare against the planet and against you. They're not saving Earth. They're claiming ownership of it. Wake up before it's too late. And
I would speculate with that, Robert, that the same people that came up with that acronym also were the ones who named the telescopes for the Vatican, Lucifer 1 and 2.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because they're all connected. Follow the money,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Luciferic warfare against humanity on Earth. And I've told the story before. I was warned in a ghost experience, a near-death experience in 1981. I was warned by a ghost that Lucifer had taken over world religions and was going to use them as their vehicle to destroy mankind. And that's what we're seeing in the Middle East. We have two kinds of jihadis. You know, we have Islamic jihadis and we have Jewish jihadis. They're identical. They are doing exactly the same, terrorizing everyone and imposing trauma-based mind control on their own members and on the rest of the world. Europe is insane. Europe is now hoarding food and water in anticipation of a war with Russia. Trump is trying to stay out of it. And I think he's playing quite a tactful diplomatic game of like hey, you guys better pony up more money for your own defense, you know what I mean? So he's made them pay 5%. And the other thing about the Epstein files is that I believe that Trump is playing this very high level game with the Epstein files. And that what he's actually doing, he's actually suppressing them temporarily while leaking the names through other sources. I have a list of the names. I got them earlier in the week. But what I think that Trump is doing is that he has turned the tables on the blackmailers, and that he's using the Epstein files to blackmail Netanyahu and Israel into doing what he wants them to do, which is stop the slaughter, the genocide in Gaza, and come to the table and negotiate honestly. They are and it's only a lull. This thing with the ceasefire, it's only a lull. Israel's not going to give it up because they are dyed-in-the-wool terrorists. I have a lot of Jewish friends, and some are wise and some are otherwise. And I've lost the friendship of some of them because they are so blind and hive-minded that when I told them the truth about what was going on, I covered the war every day, and I was giving accurate reports on the missile barrages and destruction in Tel Aviv and Haifa. And this guy that was very close to me, almost, I would say, turned and said that I was an enemy because I was telling him the truth. And it reminded me of Yuri Bezmenov, whom I watched last night with Alan. And Bezmenov said, we'll know we have succeeded when we present people with the to believe it. And that's where they stand. So they recoil when you try to tell either group, whether jihadis, Islamic jihadis or Jewish jihadis, you try to tell them the truth, chapter and verse and scripture. They recoil into a hive mind mentality and they refuse to accept it. Then they turn on you and accuse you of being the liar with a hidden agenda.
Look at the Christian Zionists, man. The Christian,
exactly.
What is Christian Zionism?
You should have heard my show last night. No one is more fooled or befuddled than Zionist Christians.
Do they really think that Jesus would support the genocide in Gaza of the wholesale slaughter of all these Semites in that region?
Well, no, obviously they're demented as well. They have a hive mentality, and that's because trauma-based mind control has been applied by the Freemasons. The Freemasons, through the Scofield Bible and Strong's Concordance, really shifted the focus of Christianity from the teachings of Jesus Christ, a God of love, a God of mercy and compassion, to this reptilian, blood-sucking, alien God that loves the smell of burnt flesh. And that's what he says in the Bible. I am a wrathful and a jealous God, and I love the smell of burnt flesh.
The New Testament, the Scofield New Testament version?
The Scofield Bible, as I understand it,
commentary.
Was a compilation or commentaries on both books. So I think that people really have to listen to Jesus in John 8:44, where he says to the Pharisees, the God of the Jews, he says to them, you are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. If you love the Father, my Father, you would love me because I proceed from the Father. But you do not love me because you are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. For he was a murderer and a liar from the beginning, and when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. Nothing could be more explicit than Jesus Christ's words to the Pharisees, to the Jews who worshiped Yahweh. Jesus did not worship Yahweh. He overthrew this tyrannical God and supplanted him with Abba, our Father in heaven. So that's the message I have for fundamentalist Christians. You are all being terrorized. You are all being kept under trauma-based mind control. You are all afraid of God. You use the Bible in terror. You're afraid of the wrath of Yahweh instead of turning to the mercy and the love and compassion of the Christ. You are confused. That's all I have to say to them.
Confusion is a large part of it. That's right. That's the Buddhist perspective. Sin, good and evil, the Judeo-Christian, even that apparently is a bit of a oxymoron, Judeo-Christian. But in the, so it's good and evil, from the monotheistic, typically Abrahamic paradigm, whereas from the Buddhist way of seeing things, it's confusion versus clarity. It's all mental confusion, not something we want to promote or further nurture, but seek clarity. And with that clarity, it's like, what did Christ say about the light? Buddha talked about the light too, like the enlightenment and the light within. Both of them,
well,
on the same page.
When your eye
there.
is single, thy body shall be full of light. See, he taught a yoga in a very, very subtle way. He said three things that point to three chakras. When thine eye be single, thy body shall be full of light. Where thy heart is, there is your treasure also. And then he said, he who drinks of me shall never thirst, for out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. You've got the fundamentals of Taoism right there. And the interesting thing, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And a lot of people, mistranslate it. You hear people saying, I am the way, the truth, and the light. It's not light. He said life. Now, the interesting thing about the way, defined by the I Ching, it said, the Tao is that which now lets the light and now lets the dark appear. So it is not light or darkness. And when you look at the yin and yang, the yin and yang represents a trinity. It's not a duality. The reason you're seeing the yin and yang symbol is because there's the ground behind it, the background. That's the invisible part. If it were not for the ground, the background, the piece of white paper on which the yin and yang is drawn to delineate the limits of yin and yang and the differentiation between yin and yang and the dot of white within the black and the black within the white of the polarity, you wouldn't be able to see the yin and yang. So it actually represents a trinity, but the Tao represents the line of demarcation between the two, like putting oil and water in a vessel. They can't mix, and they shift back and forth, but there's always a membrane. Okay, you can think of it as a membrane.
Firewall.
That, or if you want to think of it that way, yeah. So we have to get into another metaphor and not think of yin and yang as representing duality. It's actually a trinity. There's yin, yang, and the Tao, right? So I think that's what Jesus was talking about when he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And the life that he's talking about is the life force that's coursing through our bodies right now, that's coursing through our veins, distributing consciousness to every cell in a healthy body, but also the primordial consciousness, when thine eye be single, the consciousness without content. That's what I experienced, as I've told you before, in winter solstice of 1974. I was taken back before the beginning of time. I awoke with Brahma. I awoke and heard the first thought of the Godhead, which is, I am here. When he said, I am here, that was the manifestation of first consciousness and first awareness of I and thou. I am here and thou art that. And then it found its soul. It encountered a soul and the love of God, which is the real meaning of charity. Do you know that the real meaning of charity is the boundless love of God for this creation? There's a wonderful book everyone should read by Aldous Huxley called The Perennial Philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And in that book, he goes through the history of mysticism and the sages, and sages from the Far East and from the Western world and the mystics, and you start to see that there is a coherent message being transmitted by all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No killing. Well, it's, truth is truth. And it's like too many people get too caught up in the rhetoric and the sophistication of over-analysis and so forth. There's no need for any of that, frankly, because actually the best way to approach, I find, is just to drop it, and to understand we are good within our own innate nature. And you know, I got a few things to say here, but the way in Taoism, the way Christianity, do you know what it was originally referred to as?
The way.
The way. And everybody really encouraged folks to look into the Jesus Sutras, which, once again, as I've touched on a couple times here over the past number of months, were discovered within about the last 100 years. I think it was Dunhuang along the Silk Road, a famous Buddhist kind of grotto. It was an oasis back in its prime, from what I understand, and it was
the Dunhuang caves.
Sure, yeah. And but these were hidden scrolls. They were hidden behind a wall for I think well over 1,000 years, probably. Oh God, I don't know. It's a long time, well over 1,000 years. There's no doubt about that. And the Nestorian influence. There was Islamic as well, but what came up mostly there in the Jesus Sutras, of course, Islam always has to be the one to come along and destroy everything. But when it gets to be in the majority, when it's the minority, similar to other movements and organizations, it seems that when they're in the minority, it's like, oh, poor me, play the victim card endlessly. But then when they suddenly find themselves having the numbers that they need. It's like, oh, we're going to turn the tables on you, and now you're going to suffer.
The Hebrews, for me, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, oy vey.
So, all we want to do is be left alone, but they don't leave anything.
Yeah, the Holocaust. It was the Holocaust. The
Holocaust.
Holocaust.
It just
didn't benefit Israel, of course. That didn't help Israel.
No, Israel. You know, I wrote to my friends. Israel lost this war. Not only did they get devastated, Israel suffered 480 buildings destroyed or damaged in Tel Aviv. Israel suffered the oil pipeline that supplies Israel from Haifa. That was blasted to smithereens.
How much time has Netanyahu been spending with Trump over the last month or so?
Well, he came in for a 3-day visit, but
more
I
than
have
that.
to tell you, I'm reading Israeli newspapers, Haaretz and Hayom Israel, and Rachel Fink, who exposed that Haredi sect that was conducting satanic ritual abuse of children in Israel for decades.
But beneath the Knesset, is that right?
Yeah, it was in the Knesset that they were exposing it, and the victims were from 20 to 40 years old. So that's how long this has been going on. It finally broke, and I said that's why Netanyahu had to go to war to take the spotlight off of that.
Absolutely.
But I pointed this out to my Jewish friends. They're saying, "Oh, Israel won. Israel, that's a great victory." They didn't win anything. It's all propaganda. Israel lost 1,500,000 people who left Israel in the last year and a half.
Really?
After October, a mass migration of rich Israelis just split the country. And in the last few months, as this war in Gaza this genocide in Gaza unfolded, and the prospect of war with Iran was becoming evident.
Yeah.
500,000 people lost.
Netanyahu he was trying to, he did not want people to leave. He was trying to make it as difficult as possible for people to exit.
Just like East Germany and Russia. See, people have to understand, Israel is a communist country. Zionism is communism.
Not fascist?
Well, here's the key.
Kind of the same thing.
In 1941, this terrorist named Avram Stern, who was the head of the Stern Gang, a terrorist group in Palestine, wrote to Stalin asking him for military aid, supplies, and weapons to fight the British. And he told him explicitly that what he wanted to do was establish a fascist communist government in Israel. That's Zionism. And those the words of Avram Stern.
He said fascist communist is what he said.
He said fascist communist government. Right. When he kicked out the British. So in Australia, this newspaper article came out a couple of days. It was sent to me by my Jewish friend, a really dear friend, one of my, like a brother and my student for almost 47 years now. And he wrote to me this article. He sent it to me. He said, the emergence of Israel as a country has followed the most peaceful process in history. And I said to him, man, you're doing crazy talk.
Delusional.
Haven't you ever heard of Irgun, Haganah, Lehi, the Stern Gang?
Nakba? How about the Nakba? How peaceful was that?
Well, the Nakba is what they did to the Palestinians, but haven't you ever heard of the terror bombing of the King David Hotel?
Yeah.
They killed 240 people, most of them British.
September
that was the headquarters of the British provincial government.
September 11th, USS Liberty.
Yes.
October 7th. Yeah, October 7th. It was. We had no idea. They caught us off guard. We were so surprised. Yeah. And then, what a load of horseshit.
The Israelis are publishing it right in their newspapers, but the Mockingbird Talking Monkey media in the Western world is an echo chamber for the Zionists who own it.
Yes, they have come clean with the Hannibal Directive, though, haven't they? In Israeli media, there's been generals that have come out. They've said, yes, the Hannibal Directive / protocols were enacted. But you're right, Sky News of Australia, they do a lot of great coverage in other areas. But when it comes to Israel, we touched on this. Maybe I guess you were taking a break there with that, house chores and so forth. They they are so far up the collective Zionist rear end that I don't know what to say. That it's they're it's just it's terrible.
Yeah, my friend accused me of having an agenda. I'll tell you what my agenda is.
Truth.
I never, truth is my agenda.
Get real,
but
people.
I never want to see another drop of American or Canadian blood spilled for any other country, especially Israel or any country in the Middle East or for Europe.
No more wars for Israel. We hear it time and again. Or Europe. Right. That's right. Yeah.
I certainly don't want to see a nuclear holocaust unfold because it's been triggered by these two insane religions. Jewish jihadis and Islamic Shia jihadis are exactly the same. And that's what Professor Joseph Eliash, the Western world's foremost expert on Shia Islam, who taught at Oberlin College, whose work I have studied for 44 years, he said exactly the same thing. So this is news that has been suppressed. But folks, are you willing to trade, my Canadian friends, are you willing to trade Toronto and Vancouver and any other?
Calgary,
the city,
Edmonton,
Calgary,
Winnipeg.
I'm not willing to trade New York to save Jerusalem. To hell with it, right? That's their fight. That's their obsession. And I certainly have no interest in seeing a third temple built in Jerusalem that's going to be occupied by the Elohim. Do you know that that's the secret teaching? That's the secret teaching of the Raelians. And Einstein and Oppenheimer, after the Roswell crash, came to the conclusion that the aliens that had returned were the Elohim, and that we had to establish a new covenant, a third covenant with them in order to facilitate their coming back to the earth. So the building of the third temple, according to the Raelian sect of Judaism, is to build a third temple so the Elohim can reside in the third temple and rule the world from Jerusalem.
What if the Moshiach, they need there's a certain Jewish sect, like I get confused, yeah. There's so many, and there's certain ones that are totally not non-Zionist, they're not supporters of Israel in the least, but ironically interestingly, they're more than happy to draw upon whatever favors Israel offers them as far as, living in Israel.
Let's not blame the crimes against humanity of the Zionists on all Jews.
No.
I have 3 rabbis, Rabbi Shapiro, Rabbi Weiss, and a third one. And they say the Torah forbids the state of Israel. God told them, get out and don't come back until the Messiah comes. Zionists have this idea that they are going to force the hand of God.
They just made that up. They made it up, didn't they?
It's an insane thought. What arrogance. I would call it Luciferic pride. Arrogance of a human being to say he could force the hand of God to do anything.
Is that post-Sabbatean? Where
yes.
they like, was that all Herzl, or like, of course the Rothschilds are heavily implicated as far as the financing.
They murdered Herzl. Listen, they murdered
him. The atheist, very non-religious, secular man, totally non-religious.
He didn't care. He didn't care where the new state of Israel
Madagascar
and Uganda. He suggested, because they were both a British mandate, so he was asking the British, Balfour Declaration went to the British, but the British controlled Uganda and they had dibs on Madagascar. So Herzl said, look, give us a piece of Uganda. He didn't care about Palestine.
They probably would have orchestrated at that point where they would have been the returning tribe of ancient Uganda. I'm sure they could have constructed something along those lines.
But let me say this
quite easily.
The diabolical genius of Rothschild and the Zionists was to realize that if they hijacked Palestine, they would be able to hijack the sacred sites of the 3 of the world's great religions. They would be able to appropriate the capital of Judaism, which they think is Jerusalem, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is sacred to the Muslims, and of course, the Holy Land, as Christians call it. So their idea was to seize that land in order to be able to manipulate and control the three world religions. And that's Luciferic in my estimation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need a temple. God is not in the temple. God walks in when you walk in, and God walks out when you walked out. It's as simple as that in my mind.
Yeah. I kind of see things in a similar sense that it, here and now, it's wherever you go, it's you walk.
Remember,
walk with
Ralph
the way, in the way, walk in the way, live in the way.
Emerson said divinity lies within.
Matthew was the only place in the New Testament where it's explicitly stated that as well, from what I understand. There's only one passage in Matthew where Christ he tells because they ask him, where the kingdom of heaven is within you.
That's right.
It's like look out there, look over there. It's like here, over there. Like whoa. It's like no, and so it's always within you, and it's nowhere else. That's it.
That's right.
But we should cultivate that though too, obviously, and make it as rich, powerful, but also grounded as possible, because we need, as that balance. You'll well know as a practicing.
Can I speak to one more thing?
Let me finish with the dialectic. Because it's a bit of a callback before we forget, because time is limited here. There's two dialectics. The one, I guess, that you spoke of with the white within the black within the white, and then the membrane or firewall. But then there's another one that technocracy uses, and both of these go back to the pre-Socratics. I studied this in university. It's been endlessly I've been sort of half-assed reflecting upon the whole thing since then. But so you have what's mutually exclusive. Technocracy, there is no. And by the way, technocracy, what color? Is it white and black, technocracy, the symbol they use? It is the yin and yang, but what colors are they? Red and white. So immediately it's got me thinking, you mean like the Russian Revolution? So, red and white. Yeah. And that's
I just wanted to say this. I know we're short on time, but it's very important. I'm hearing this trope, this nonsensical trope that's being bandied about, claiming that Jesus was a communist. And I tell people that's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard, because the fundamental cornerstone of communism is that there is no God.
Or private property.
Or private property, but there is no God, and that religion is the opiate of the masses. If you think Jesus believed that, then you're nuts, right? Or you're evil and preaching a heresy. Jesus was not a communist.
As if Marxism is not a religion.
He's atheistic, materialistic, and Jesus was always against both of them. Against atheism.
I agree with you, Robert. I totally agree with you on that. And Christ said, give to Caesar what's Caesar's.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
If what Caesar is God's, then you can't make that communism. Anyways, I'm going to clear on out, everybody. It's been great. Thanks for letting me hang out.
Let's hear more. Rodriguez Productions. Where and when can people find you, Mark? And your shows.
It's already today here, so it'll be. I'll start stream up about 4:30 Eastern time for pre-show. And then if you look for Dragus Productions anywhere, you'll find the stream, and I hope to see you all there. All right, I got 3 shows tomorrow.
And thank you for helping out with that Jack Carey show. I was looking at your Bigfoot there and thinking, Jack Carey, because you've known him for some time, haven't you?
Oh, I've known Jack for probably 10 plus years.
Right.
Jack and I have. He used to come on my old show, which was Cafe Enigma.
Oh,
and I ran that for 10 years. Yeah, and
I've heard of that.
I actually had his mentor who introduced me to Jack, who was J.C. Johnson. And
yeah, we
JC
talked
was
about
an
JC.
integral part of my show for the longest time.
I didn't know that. So, but we mentioned JC, an old friend of his who, as memory served, and I asked him, like, he passed away not so long ago, and in fact, he had. So, sure.
Him and quite a few of the top people in cryptozoology are gone now. Him and then Linda, who wrote The Beast of Bray Road. I can't remember her last
name. Linda
name.
Godfrey?
Linda Godfrey passed away probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And she was an integral part of my my quarterly shows and did updates with me on cryptozoology. Oh, yeah.
She was amazing.
Yeah, she was. And such a nice person, too. Her and Linda, not Linda, but Sutherland. I can't think of her first name now.
Oh, man.
But anyways, I used to even have one that was just the queens of paranormal, and Linda, her, and a few, like Nancy and a few others would be in there. It was really a great time. But it was like a quarterly or a biannual show that I did.
You haven't. What about Laura Lee Potvin? Have you connected with her at all over the years? Heard of her? Connected? Yes?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't connected with her.
All right. I'll cross-pollination then, and we got some ideas for Robert
and
you.
Over my way, and that tomorrow I'm going to have probably DK coming in on the after show, and then and MC Dirty Work's coming in tomorrow too.
Is DK going to be so? Is he going to? Is it okay if he's drinking?
I'm not going to get into that, but he's going to be on the after show and that, and
Well, no. Forget about DK. Is it? The question simply is it okay if people who are part of the content you put out have been drinking, like,
I hit him up early enough that he's home before he starts. So
okay. It's a roundabout. It's a kind of a diplomatic response, I guess.
A show comes on around now. He's had a couple hours to lay in, but a show like Nancy's or Jack's, he's just getting home from work and hasn't had anything in him yet. So
okay,
He starts when he gets off of work. He's pretty riled up when he gets with us.
He's working. Is he back doing roofing?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's back working again. I don't know.
Good for him. Good, that's great.
Yeah. He'll be in tomorrow, and Sonia is usually part of the group too when she can join.
I would be myself.
Rather busy.
You guys, like, Censorship Sucks had invited us, but we can't seem to get our time straight here. And I'm heading off on this secret mission. This really high stakes secret visit to Canada, an attempt over the course of just 2 weeks to do what I can to save my country. So good luck with that.
You're going home to avoid the Care Bears, dude.
I think you're going to need more than a cape and be susceptible to kryptonite and that, or
I got my guitar. Hey, don't sell me short. The guitar. I got that guitar.
Okay, then you're gonna love them down like John Lennon, right? Okay.
Like the
Not that he was a communist.
John Lennon apparently sold his soul, but that's another show all on its own. So it's a sad, to think. But we got a few minutes here, folks. So Roger Hansen, Drigas Productions, all our Robert Morningstar with the Substack link, Sonia Galactic. Who do we got coming up this Friday night?
This Friday we have Coley Weber. She has SNX Radio, and she's a podcaster. She just kind of shows like we do.
X and X. There's no E there at all in.
Nope, just an S and an N and an X.
Oh, there's no. I thought it almost sounded like you were going to say S and M, and I was. Wow, what did you got ourselves into?
Yeah.
So she's
a beauty.
Ufology is what she specializes in, then, I guess, is what you're telling us.
Well, she has a lot of those guys on, a lot of different different guys. Like she has the Stephen Bassett guy on quite a bit.
Really?
So yeah, she's got a lot of contacts like that.
Impressive.
So she's got a good setup over there.
Good
she's
stuff.
Very excited to come on too. She's waiting for your email.
Oh, we got to check. So yeah, because we'll take a look at that probably today, obviously, like right after the show, and get on top of that. So, and what Fantastic. What are you up to here over the next couple of days? What are we looking at there on the Sonya or the Sonya Galactic? The Sonya. Well, why I always get the website? We got in the with the archives here. Galacticfire.com. Bloody hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, just promoting Christian's book, really. And then I'm getting on your website, or WPRPN website. So, yeah, I just need just email me.
Alrighty. Sounds good. We got like 2 more minutes here. Let's go check out I guess you and Amos have been back and forth with Roger, it looks like, across D-Live, YouTube, and whatnot. Not too much in the way of substantive comments, particularly, other than people just messing around and probably, hopefully lending an ear here, I suppose, and seeing what they can, quality content they can potentially absorb. So Robert really unpacked a great deal there. I'd like to hear more from him at some point. The Synagogue of Satan. Yeah. So that's a real something for people to think about, I guess. And what can you really say other than some people, not sure what it is, the difference or distinction between ego and a soul. And does everybody actually even have a soul? Some souls, some people almost seem soulless, don't they? What did John Prine, how did he put it? Something to the effect that some humans aren't even human. He was a real satirical type songwriter. So thank you to everyone. Sonia, Roger, Robert, Mark, Yvonne. Hopefully we didn't miss out on anybody, and look forward to catching up with you when we return back from Canada. As far as the news itself is concerned, Sonia herself will she'll be invited. Whether she's able to make it or not is another story. This week's upcoming Friday night feature show, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 on the East Coast. That's 12 noon here via the Tokyo and Seoul time zone, Saturday. So do take note of that. And it too will be our final feature show before we really throw ourselves into finishing up with all of our packing and working on doing what we can to focus and getting ready for the big trip. It's been 18 years. Can you believe it? How about that? It's a long time, man. How time flies. Just blows my mind. I can't even believe it's real. Have not been back to Canada for that long. So hopefully don't get the 3rd degree at customs, although we probably will. That's the way it normally seems to unfold for whatever reasons. Like, okay, you're going over here into the special line. And that's essentially how they have, look what happened to Tulsi Gabbard during Biden's time in office, how they treated her. Decorated, honored, very loyal soldier. I think she served as a medic. Very heroic, of course. Anyone who puts their life on the line like that. And then you have your government turn around and treat you like a traitor. I'm often reminded of the quote from Voltaire that it's dangerous to be right when the government is wrong. No. He must have known something, I guess, did he? So, a Freemason as well, too. But, having said that, he suffered a significant amount of profiling, targeting, persecution. For whatever reason exactly, I'm not sure, but quite an author. Candide, definitely one of his better known works, and seemed to have been a prominent person within the context of the French Revolution. What an awful thing that was. Rousseau, speaking of awful, similar to Marx, if you look into these people and their personal histories, how they treated people, how they were privately, just terrible, terrible people, is the impression that I've been left with, undoubtedly. Marx, another Freemason, some regard as a Luciferian, Jewish Luciferian, very Sabbatean in his outlook, in the sense that what's up is down, what's good is to be avoided. It's seen as sinful, and just the whole world, basic common sense morality turned on its head. That's another thing a lot of people maybe don't stop to think about. We have, do we not, most of us, an innate, ingrained sense of conscience. They say let your conscience be your guide. Some people maybe don't have the healthiest conscience. Some people may be a little not doing so well in that department, shall we say, suffering, struggling. Some would go so far as to say sick, mentally ill. I think it has probably more to do with the heart than anything else. Why was it the ancient Egyptians discarded the brain matter, yet did all they could to preserve the heart? A very powerful organ. Really important to keep it in good quality condition. One of the reasons I stopped smoking so many years ago. So, but not that we're here to offer anyone any formal legal, medical, or financial advice. People all have to make their own decisions on their own time and accord. There's a great picture of Laura Lee. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see her have a chance to join Mark, or one of his the live streaming personalities via his Drigas Productions talent pool. Got a lot of great quality people that he works with, no doubt about that. So there, 130 colleges, Geo-Engineering the world, banned, censored, whatever you want to say, taken off of Facebook for whatever reason. We'll let our audience members decide for themselves why that may have been the case. Facebook certainly doesn't want anybody to know or to think about. So they torpedoed our effort to get the show rolling along, unfortunately, reaching a wider audience. On the bright side of things, though, we did manage to connect with Rumble for the first time around. So How cool is that? I wonder if it'll automatically archive things. That would be just spiffy. It would save us a little bit of time not having to go around and take care of it all manually. So, all right. Well, so many other talking points we could get to. Very grateful once again for everyone who did manage to make it out this week. Never, don't ever think that you're not appreciated. Speaking of appreciation, PayPal support is something that always we're wanting to remind people of, if only because YouTube, for its part, has demonetized us for quite some time now. That's our status in relation to them. Unfortunate state of affairs. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is our PayPal email. That's how you can go about doing that. Half of everything we do manage to generate, whether through that particular approach, merchandise, sales, coffee mugs, t-shirts, and the like, through galacticfire.com, Teespring, or TeePublic. Patreon as well, too, where you can connect with us for free. And we have multimedia packages available for $1 a piece. We do not take any, operate things on the basis of monthly subscriptions. It's simply on a per item basis. And the multimedia packages that we have running in conjunction with World Pirate Radio News go for a mere $1 per set, essentially. What you receive are a whole number of the dankest memes of the week, along with what we typically throw into the mix as far as a slideshow is concerned. A lot of people do comment on the slideshows and the memes that we provide to the public, often getting a big kick out of what they see, being reminded of perhaps what they forgot, helping them to become a little more inspired, perhaps, or reflective current state of affairs, or history as it is unfolded. So, in addition to that, all the talking points that we have here in conjunction with the show, URLs, social media links, of course, website addresses, and the like. There is this link that we did, speaking of URLs, mentioned at the top of the show, the one that Robert Morningstar shared with us. 1,000-year war between Russia and the Khazars. Who would have ever thought? Check that out, people. And DLive and YouTube pick that one up automatically. The other HomeNetwork.tv, Telegram, and Rumble, unfortunately, nothing that Restream is able to share with them. So maybe there's another way of doing things here. People have been suggesting, floating the possibility of taking a little different approach as far as what our potential options to live streaming could be. So there we go, people. I suppose that's about it. Let's see. It's pretty socked in, overcast here. via South Korea. We're not having too many flash floods in our area, although there are other parts of the peninsula where people routinely have to contend with those sort of serious environmental factors. So, just taking one last look at talking points and URLs and the like that we have here. So, redstatenation.com. So much more on the Epstein front that is going to be coming out over the coming weeks and months. You can be rest assured of that. Epstein, in fact, I think it was journalist Michael Wolff recorded, hours upon hours of conversation with Epstein where he talks quite in depth his take on his relationship with President Trump. So that's definitely something worth taking note of. Some of that material has already found the light of day. What more could possibly come to the surface is anyone's guess. Trump is no fan of this journalist, Michael Wolff. In fact, I believe he's also Fire and the Fury, I think, is the title of the book that he did author a number of years ago. Mostly dealing with POTUS 45 and his time in office. So, looking forward to reconnecting with you here again this coming Friday night. Hope everyone has the chance to enjoy the next few coming days, of course, with whatever matters or items happen to be on the agenda. Paying the bills, taking care of family, meeting with friends, shopping, seeing to it they get a little time to rest and relax. WPRPN.com, main website. Be sure to check it out. We're always here for you and to lend an ear. On behalf of Captain Long, John Sinclair, all the rest of the crew down in Skullport Harbor, I'm your host as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder, reminding you that until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, keep your ear to the ground and eyes to the sky. Tally-ho!